In this tutorial, I'll show you how you can clean your data set so you can prepare it for an analysis. Specifically in this example, I'm using the PUMS 2023 personal record data. And ultimately, this data set is really big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select the two variables that I'm interested in, as well as removing any missing values. I'm going to filter some values, and I'm also going to take a random sample so I can reduce the overall size of the data. The first step is I'm going to highlight the columns and copy and paste them into a new workbook. The columns I want are age, that's my first variable, so I'm going to copy that. Then I'm going to go up to File and open a new blank workbook. Then I'll paste my first variable into the first column of the new workbook. The next step is to find my second variable. So I can find this with Control F, and I know that it's personal income, so PINCP. So if you know the name of your variable, it's easy to find. Finding the next column, I can see that I'm glad that I used that because it was pretty far down there. I can highlight this column and add it to the new workbook. Now I've reduced the overall data set by quite a few columns. So now I'm looking at the two variables that I'm interested in. The next step is to filter this data from stuff I don't want, like any blanks or any values that are too small or too big. So to do that, I'm going to use the data and the filter function. So going up to data, I'll go over to filter. Now I can sort my data by using this little tab. Down here, I can see all the unique values of age, starting at 18, going all the way up to 94. At the very bottom, I can see that there are a couple missing values or blanks, so I can click this value and remove any of the missing values. It's okay. The next step is that I want to filter out the zeros or any negative values in the income data. So I'm going to use the same drop down here, and I can see that I have negative values and zeros. So I could deselect each one of these, but it wouldn't be very efficient. So a more efficient way of doing this would be go to number filters. Under number filters, I want to select all the data that is greater than 0. So I can use this greater than filter and just put in is greater than 0 and press OK. Now that removes any of the values that were negative or equal to 0. Now I've pretty much cleaned and filtered my data the way I've wanted to. I can now highlight these two columns, copy them, and now I'm going to repaste them into this workbook, but just as values. That will remove any of the rows. So I'm going to do that here. Now I can delete the original data. Now I've cleaned my data, but now I need to take a smaller random sample of it. We still have quite a few rows. So if we look all the way down to the bottom, it looks like we still have 33,265 rows. For a cluster analysis, this is far too big. So we want to reduce the size by quite a bit. Instead, I want to take a random sample of about 300. So the easiest way to take a random sample is to use the rand function. So I'm going to call this rand column. Then I'm going to use the rand function, rand, and multiply it by just 1,000 so I can easily see what the values are. The goal here is to get a random number, a unique one, for each one of my values in the data set. So I can do this once for the first row, but then I want to do it for every single value in my data set. So I can double click the bottom corner here and it will flash fill all of the random values here. The next step is to copy this entire column and just repaste it as values. This way, the rand function doesn't change each time I change something in my data. Now, the final step is to go up and sort it. From here, I can go back up to filter, and I'm going to sort based upon smallest to largest of my random values. This now reorders the data randomly based upon this rand column. Now I can select the first 300 rows. And really, I want to go to 301, so I get my variable name in the first row. Copying the data one more time, I'm going to put it into a new worksheet. Now I've pasted over my random sample of 300 observations for cluster analysis. So before I complete this, I'm going to delete sheet 1 because I no longer need that. That was kind of my working sheet. And I have my cleaned, beautiful data. I'm going to go up to File, and I'm going to save this as a CSV file. So File, Save As. Right now it will save as an Excel workbook. I want to make sure that it's a CSV file, and I'm going to name it something that I can remember. And press Save. And now I'm done. My data is clean, and I can use this for my cluster analysis.